Hello, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica, and today we're going to talk about the importance of controlling your environment when you have been severely deconditioned. Training for deconditioned individuals oftentimes encompasses training for overweight individuals because many people become overweight from being deconditioned. People become deconditioned often, in my experience, because of something like injury. Humans have a tendency to keep going even if they've been injured. It's an old survival strategy. If you hurt your ankle, you still had to run away from the tiger in order to ensure the survival of your species. The problem with that is that strategy only works for short-term survival. This is an idea that leads into something called a cumulative injury cycle. You get hurt, your body shifts the load away from the injured place and you keep going, and then you put more stress on one part of your body. Let's say you hurt your knee, your left knee, so you put more weight in your right leg. More weight in your right leg causes the left side of your spine to work a little bit harder because it's trying to counterbalance the lever of your spine as you shift weight away from your center line. And then eventually, either the back or the other leg gives out because it's under too much sustained load. This is a problem that almost everybody in the modern world has, and for the most part, we call it the process of aging. But what it does is it slows people down. People get slower and they start to move less, but they continue to eat the same amount of food that they did when they were moving really well. This happens a lot to athletes I've seen. Athletes eat a ton of food because of the amount of work that they do. They get hurt, and then they shift the load and they keep training, and then they get hurt and they shift the load and they keep training. They get hurt and they shift the load and they keep training until they reach a point where they can no longer continue to train. Then they finally are forced to stop by their body, but their eating doesn't change and they gain 30, 40, 50 pounds. The problem that many people have is that they never fix the movement problem that allows them to go back to their previous level of athletic development. Doesn't matter if you never had athletic development, the same thing happens to people who work for a living. If you're a roofer and you have to carry heavy objects every day in order to do your job, you get hurt, you still go to work, you still lift all the heavy things, you still walk on roofs. Same thing is true of farmers, and they call that the process of getting old until they eventually just stop moving well at all. That is not what we want. The whole idea is that you need to be in control of your environment, because most people do not like people seeing them when they don't move well or when they are hurt. That is a huge problem that people have. People don't want to look like they are bad at something. That stops people from A, trying new things, and that stops people from recovering from injury. Most people don't want to go to a gym and look like they don't know what they're doing or like they can't move. There's a lot of bad energy, I'm gonna say is a weird way to say it, but it's true. Bad energy in gyms for people who are injured or for people who are heavier than they would like to be, deconditioned for whatever reason. Controlling your environment where you train is key to your success. That means having a program that you can do wherever you are, in your living room, in an apartment, in a house, without a lot of special equipment. It should not cost a lot of money. I like kettlebells, clubs, baseball bats, maces, because they are cheap and you can do them anywhere. We have a ton of videos on this topic. But for the most part, people are more likely to do their program if they're in a controlled environment where they are free of judgment. Absolutely essential to success in any type of program is consistency. If you control your environment, then you will be consistent. That's the idea. You can do at least 5 to 10 years of training and go from deconditioned, unable to stand up, to full superhero Batman level, and you should be able to do that in your bedroom. Kettlebells and clubs are the absolute best way to do that. Kettlebells and clubs, you can adjust the weight and you can focus on the most important movements that humans do, and then you can go to bodyweight training. For the most part, if you are deconditioned, bodyweight training is not going to be great for you because your body always weighs the same amount. And if you are overweight or deconditioned, then you are essentially carrying an extra sandbag on your body. So use a weight that you can adjust. Competition adjustable kettlebells are the best, clubs are second best. Start with a lightweight. work on the most important movement patterns. Should be, if you're truly deconditioned, that is a shield cast, a deadlift variant with a weight on one side of your body, a squat variant with controlled depth, and an overhead press. You build out from there and you build into endurance hip snap, which would be a swing program. Then you go to a clean and press program, which is a lifting and carrying strategy. Then you go to a get-up program, getting up off of the ground. Then you can go to bodyweight, and somewhere between the first program and swings and stuff, you can start adding in two-handed club training. We have a bunch of videos on this topic, but controlling your environment helps you be consistent. And being consistent changes the way your brain works. It changes the way your cells work. And it takes you from being in pain every day to building good habits. If you have to travel and be subjected to the scrutiny of other people, most people will not make it. Having a program that you can control and that you can do absolutely anywhere, from a 5th floor walk up in New York City to a tidal flat, is key to success. Understanding what to do, how to do it, when to do it, what you need, and in what order to do it is key. Knowledge is something that can never be taken away from you. And you can always use a rebuilding strategy over and over and over again in life, because the fundamental design principle is sound, so that you can always get what you want out of training and lead the life that you want to lead.